Hi, this is Prayas. Today I will talk about a really important issue. This will be how you get cheated in online poker and how to secure yourself. Online poker often is about a lot of money, and if there is a lot of money to be gained, this will also get shady people into the business, who will cheat on you or at least try. Let's jump right into the topic. First, bots. I already made a standalone video about this topic. Please watch it for more information. Just a quick recap here. It's not really a cheat, as bots are not having any advantage against you from the information standpoint, as long as there isn't a bot ring with many machines also sharing whole card information. Nevertheless, this is obviously unfair, as the computer never gets tired or misclicks, and the computer can also make exact equity calculations while the human can just guess. Next, multi-accounting. Also not a hard cheat, I would call it a soft cheat, as this is not giving your opponent an advantage in the sense of he knows which cards are coming or he knows your whole cards, but it still creates an unfair advantage. If you play a guy with whom you got a lot of history, you might use your reads you got so far, but if someone else is sitting in front of the computer, your reads might be completely off. Another way to gain an edge also is joining an opponent about whom you already got tons of reads because you already played him with another account, but he has to start readless if you come into the match with a fresh new unknown account. Live coachings and ghostings also fall into that category in my opinion. Multi-accounting in my eyes is the weakest form of cheating. There was a major discussion on 2+2 about the topic some years ago, where some pros like Durr said that they don't consider it cheating. I'm not sure if I would call it cheating. It's on the edge between cheating and just edge gaining. And on many networks, for example, you can legally have many accounts by signing on different skins, and many people use this to their advantage. Unfortunately, there's no way to protect yourself from multi-accounters. You can only be suspicious and observant at all time. And if someone is playing different than normal, you have to make adjustments. This can be quitting, for example, or playing the guy only using the reads from the session. You can also message security, and if they detect a program like TeamViewer or something similar, this guy might get punished. This obviously will not help if someone is just sitting in front of the computer than the normal account owner. The prime example of multi-accounting would be a premium fish giving his account to a top regular. In that particular case, you should be able to see the difference within a few hands and stop playing. Moving on to collusion. Collusion means that two or more players are at one table, work together and gain an unfair edge this way. This, for example, can be done by squeezing in spots where you know that your teammate got the nuts to help him make the pot bigger pre-flop. In addition to that, people also share whole cards and can make a lot better decisions this way. For example, by making blocker bluffs or taking known dead cards into account when making decisions. Pre-flop, only the man with the best hand will join the pot. If, for example, player A has ace-ace, player B has ace-queen and player C has king-queen, only player A will get involved, although these are all legitimate hands if you don't share card information. Soft play against each other is another outgrowth from collusion. I also got a video about a really suspicious hand. Feel free to check this out as well. Another form of collusion that can be really helpful is playing insanely against each other, looking like complete retards to lure other people into making wrong adjustments against you. This way regulars might play you like an insane fish incorrectly. I also want to give a few examples of collusion that I experienced. One was back in the day on Full Tilt. 3 guys were playing no limit hold'em 10k against each other, giving them, they were playing really insane, giving each other a really crazy table image. They most likely shared hole cards information and did all the things mentioned before. Luckily, Full Tilt Security caught them, and me and some others got some refunds later. Very suspicious things used to happen on iPoker as well, as they used to have high and sky stakes. Often a few random guys turned up, all playing the same table at, for example, 5100 or higher. These guys seemed to be really bad, but almost none of the pros were able to make a profit out of these games. I talked to many other high stakes racks at the time, and nobody was winning in these games. It also was really suspicious that most of the accounts mentioned had no other playing history before appearing on high stakes, and most or all of them disappeared after a few hundred or a few thousand hands, and new ones popped up. And to avoid falling into the collusion trap, it helps to be really suspicious and warily at all time. Usually the table will fill really quick if an unknown shows up at high stakes. So it's really unlikely that two or even more share one table if nothing is going on. It's preferable to sometimes miss a good opportunity when there is a decent chance that professional swindlers are at work. If you suspect something, also message the poker room providing your evidence. Sometimes they will also come to the right conclusions and you might even get some refunds. New point: DDoS attacks. This sheet is not known by many people, so it's even more important for me to shed light upon this. DDoS means distributed denial of service. This is a cyber attack where the perpetrator seeks to make a machine or network unavailable to its users by disturbing the internet service of the host. This is typically done by flooding the target with thousands of requests in attempt to overload the system. This normally is used to get websites offline temporarily, but it can also be used as a really effective and hard to prove cheat against other players. The nasty thing about this attack is that the victim often doesn't even recognize that he got attacked. This cheat was used against me at least once. I played high stakes and often got disconnected from the internet during the session. First I blamed my provider for that, but after I recognized that this is always happening during big hands where I wasn't able to return in time against the same guy, I quitted the match. Later I found out that others had similar problems and that the attacker was almost surely bombing my IP address with infinite requests in order to take down my internet during big hands in order to win pots uncontested. In that case, a backup connection not necessarily helps, as you are targeted and your backup connection will be taken down as well, but it might save you in one hand, but afterwards most likely your backup and normal internet connection will be DDoSed. What can you do to protect yourself? I think very little. If someone is targeting you who is a computer wizard, you will have no chance, but some easy to follow rules will at least make it more difficult. Obeying these rules, although, is making life uncomfortable. For example, it's really easy to find out your IP address through messengers like Skype and so on. So you basically need to stop using them in order to make it harder for the attacker to find out your IP address. It's obviously also really bad if your provider is giving you a static IP, because if an attacker found the address once, he will always know how to get you. As most poker players are really tech-affine and most of the communication is going through messengers, you will most likely not end using them, but you could keep your contact list small and only except people you trust. Unfortunately, if someone just knows your nick on Skype, he can already find out your IP address. So keeping your list small is not helping as much as you might think. Overall, there is not much you can do about this sort of attack, and it will also be really hard to prove that your internet went down due to DDoS attacks and that it wasn't just a normal disconnect because your provider sucks or your Wi-Fi crashed or something similar. You can avoid extensive harm by ending your session as soon as internet problems occur. Most of the time it will be your provider's fault, but it can also have other reasons. Independently of the source of the disconnect, it is always wise to quit your session while having internet trouble, because this will most likely make playing minus a V. Another way to stop getting exploited is avoiding people who seem to benefit more than everyone else once you get disconnected. And as always, also tell the security of the poker site. If similar stuff happened to a ton of other guys as well, they hopefully will take action against the suspicious account. Let's come to the next bullet point. Hackers. If you have huge amounts of money, criminals will try to get a hold on these funds. The best way to secure yourself is to not visit shady websites and or download something that's source isn't 100% secure. On top of that, you should also get apps for your browser that stop all scripts until you decide the website is 100% trustworthy. In addition to that, you should give no one access to your computer to stop people from getting programs on your PC unnoticed. In order to keep your machine secure, it's therefore also necessary to get your computer encrypted and secured by a really safe password, that nobody can get access to your PC while you are away. There are also some more steps to secure your account. First, use really complicated and really hard or not to guess at all passwords. Second, use a different password for every site. Third, also do the same for your email address, as the intruder often uses weak email provider passwords in order to get access to all your other accounts, for example with the help of forgotten password functions. Fourth, therefore, you also should use different email IDs and not just one. Fifth, if possible, always use two-factor authentication. This makes it a lot harder for hackers to get into your accounts. I'm not a big fan of using phones because the phone can get hacked as well, especially if it will get connected to your computer on a regular basis. I am a big fan of security tokens. Many sites like Stars and Party Poker offer these features. Skrill did this as well. Unfortunately, they will end this and only allow this feature via phone in the future. I never connect my computer and phone as an additional security measure. I know all these things are really annoying to follow and uncomfortable, but it will increase your security a lot and lower the chances that you will get hacked. You also got little helper that will help you with all these things. If you don't want to learn several independent hard to memorize passwords, you can get a password manager, for example, to make that task a lot easier. If people are interested in that topic, I can make a separate video about this. Please let me know in the comments below if that's the case. It also helps to always hold your operating system at the latest version, because updates often close security gaps. Using an antivirus program is also mandatory to keep yourself safe. You also need to hide behind a good firewall. Also, don't use free hotel Wi-Fi, for example, because they might be phishing for your data. Only use Wi-Fi if it's 100% trustworthy. If you use hotel or public Wi-Fi, for example, only do it behind a VPN to have your passwords and other stuff encrypted. Next, Trojans. A difficult word. Trojan is a program that gives the attacker a backdoor to your computer. Actually, this is also something hackers do, but I want to talk about them independently. Hackers, as described before, try to get their hands on your password and usernames and afterwards try to steal your money, for example by transferring the funds to another account. Or they might play with your account and lose the money to an accomplice. But if they do it this way, you can easily follow the money and often get the offender. This is not necessarily the case if you cheat people with the help of a Trojan. Often the victim is not even recognizing that he is getting cheated. In that case, if you do it clever, you might never get caught, but you can still steal the other player's money. If the Trojan, for example, enables you to see your opponent's cards, it should be easy to take away his money. Therefore, as already said, always secure your PC with a secure password and give nobody access to your machine other than yourself, and also avoid all other sources that might get your computer infected. For example, email attachments, spam links, drive-by downloads, fake pop-ups, and files sent from contacts in your messenger you don't trust 100%. Be careful, often even trustworthy people get hacked and the intruder might try to send you files and infect your PC as well. Trojans can also be in other firms than electronic. For example, someone might see your screen through the window, or someone might have installed hidden cameras in your house without your knowledge. Or the friend standing behind you might not be your friend, and so on. The best advice I can give you to be really worried and suspicious all the time. If something seems strange, be paranoid and investigate. You often will be wrong and you are just on a downswing, but in some cases your precaution will pay off and you might save yourself a lot of money. I, for example, send all the processes that are running on my computer to VirusTotal on a regular basis to find out if I got something on my machine that might not belong there. If you can't find out what a certain process is doing, it helps to Google for it to create clarity. I know it's pretty unsatisfying that you cannot do much about most of the attacks. As always in life, it helps to be careful and aware of all the dangers. If something seems to be too good to be true, things often are not the way they seem. For example, if 4 unknowns sit at high stakes who all play terrible, I'm pretty sure that I saved a ton of money lifetime by being cautious. But I also learned it the hard way. I got scammed a few times for a lot of money, but this happened as I was young and inexperienced and also incautious. Nowadays it should be a lot harder to take away money from me. So use your brain and be cautious. If something is too good to be true, most likely this is a trap. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you liked the video and maybe you also have something to add to my explanations. Comments are highly appreciated as always. Also highly appreciated are likes and subscriber. I wish you good luck at the tables. Bye bye.